Tool's AEnima, which is considered by many fans to be their best, is an album of duality and metamorphosis. Starting with the name, a fusion of two words, anima, Latin for soul or life energy, and enema, a medical procedure injecting fluid into the bowel of one's body in order to cleanse or stimulate a bowel movement. So in the title itself, there lies duality between the soul and the physical body, purging out everything that is limiting or not within the confines of one true will. Of course, for the members of Tool, like many musicians, their music is primary, and any lyrics and themes are always secondary and open to individual interpretation and not limited to any one particular meaning.
It's an open book, pretty much. It's not anything that has to do with standing on a soapbox saying, this is the way you should think, and this is the way I think, and here's what's right and here's what's wrong. It's more of a blank palette, so to speak, and you draw.
People can paint their own ideas onto that.
Draw your own conclusions.
People start going, okay, well, this the meaning of this part of the song and this, it's about what you guys think, and I really mean that. That's why the lyrics aren't printed. Like we just want you to come up with your own conclusions.
An interviewer from MTV brought up the Carl Jung dualistic archetypes, anima, the unconscious feminine side of man, and animus, the unconscious masculine side of a woman, prompting Maynard to see if he would elaborate any further.
What is it that, is it something that allows you to explore your own sort of, as you say, intuitive or sort of subconscious place?
It's just a process of becoming a conscious being. If you explore all the stuff that you right away kind of avoid, somebody says, well, I don't like to think about that kind of stuff. Well, that's probably where you should concentrate, because the only way you can really evolve forward, I think, is to clean out the closet, do the spring cleaning.
In mid-September of 1996, Tool's long-awaited AEnima album was released almost 3.5 years after their full-length debut album Undertow, which dropped in April of 1993. AEnima was recorded over a 6-month period between September 1995 and March 1996 at Ocean Way Recording in Los Angeles, California. Upon its release, AEnima was met with favorable reviews and sold nearly 150,000 copies within the first week. AEnima laid the groundwork, setting a higher standard for compositions which would carry over into their future releases. With this album, they started to blend the heaviness of alternative metal with the complexity and experimentalism of progressive rock and psychedelia. The band stayed committed in their approach of creative experimentation and artistic vision. I've always thought that many of the songs seem like modern-day metal versions of classical compositions. The band's patience and desire to push boundaries, combined with their focus on sound exploration and meticulous attention to detail in the studio, resulted in one of the most influential albums of the 1990s. After the release of Undertow, Tool spent considerable time touring to promote the album. The success of Undertow and its breakout radio hit Sober helped establish Tool as a force in the alternative rock and metal scenes. They played numerous shows in festivals like Lollapalooza and the Reading Festival, gaining a larger fan base and growing as a live act. Their live performances were crucial in honing their musical chemistry and developing a sound that would later characterize AEnima. During the years in between Undertow and AEnima, Tool's members, especially Maynard James Keenan, experienced significant personal and spiritual growth. Maynard, in particular, was undergoing a period of introspection, transformation, and spirituality, which directly influenced the themes of AEnima. Another example of duality and metamorphosis comes with the transition of members for the band on bass guitar from Paul D'Amour, the original bassist, to new bassist Justin Chancellor. Paul D'Amour, Tool's original bassist, left the band in September of 1995 during the writing and recording process for the band's second album, AEnima. While the exact reasons of his departure are not fully detailed by D'Amour himself or the band, several factors seem to have contributed to his exit. For one, Paul was also a guitarist and reportedly desired the band to recruit a new bassist so he could be the second guitarist, but likely he was the only one who was in support of that.
So then we were looking for a bass player, and a friend of mine who does makeup effects, a really good friend of mine from Seattle who is working at St. Winston's, knew a guitar player from Seattle who was sick of playing guitar and wanted to play bass. Warning sign. now I know it's if I heard that again, I'd be like, oh, it's okay. I really like Paul D'Amour. He's great. He's very talented. He's just, he was just never happy. So he was kind of that missing piece. And he quit. And I was blown away, and, God bless him. What he wants to do. And, I respect him for that. I respect anyone who turns down the money and to be happy.
Also, Paul was not a big fan of the band's lengthy creative process and perfectionism of the other members. In a May 2024 Guitar World interview, Paul stated, quote, "When we got to writing AEnima, we spent a year writing 5 songs. To me that was frustrating." He went on to say, quote, "In that band, the bass player can only write the bass parts, the guitar player can only write the guitar parts, and no one can comment on anything regarding the song except your part," end quote. Who knows, perhaps there was just a personality clash which had developed in there as well. It's interesting to note that he has also stated that his replacement, Justin Chancellor, formerly of the English band Peach, was a friend of Paul's and the band. Paul invited him to his house and sat down with him on the couch and showed him how to play the existing songs and how he got his sounds with various pedals. Maynard James Keenan has also stated in his book and in interviews that things with Paul were not working out and they were considering firing him, and he visited a psychic who brought up his name, Paul, and stated he would be no more. And the psychic also told of their vision of London, but sure enough, within a short period, Paul was out of the band. Paul D'Amour is said to have co-written the songs AEnima, Stinkfist, Push It, and Eulogy, although it seems odd that he has a credit for H on the ASCAP website, as that song was not played live until Justin joined the band in December of 1995. Also, new bassist Justin Chancellor is credited with writing the title track AEnima, a song which was written and played live over a year before he joined. So it seems like there could be a mistake and it should actually be the other way around. There are demos available on YouTube for the other 4 which showcase Paul's playing. The parts are nearly identical to Justin's playing on the AEnima album. The title track AEnima was first played on June 28, 1994 in Amsterdam. Stinkfist and Push It were first played live on November 11, 1994 in San Francisco. Eulogy was first played live on March 3, 1995 in San Bernardino, California. H was first played live on December 15, 1995 in Ventura, California. They were playing a near fully formed H under its working title Half Empty on New Year's Eve 1995. The songs Third Eye, 46 and 2, Hooker with a Penis, and Jimmy were all first played live on October 16, 1996 in Pomona, California. Justin Chancellor's arrival brought a new dynamic and distinctive bass tone to the band's sound, which contributed to the overall chemistry that made AEnima so dark and hypnotizing. Adam said that it was so natural to jam and write with him. Justin came up with the iconic main bass line for 46 and 2. For AEnima, the band hired Canadian producer David Bottrell, who is known for his work with artists like Peter Gabriel and King Crimson. Bottrell was instrumental in shaping the final sound of the album by helping the band refine their compositions while allowing them the freedom to experiment in the studio. Bottrell also played the relaxing piano music backing the phone message on the transition piece Message to Harry Manback. That one, which is one of the few transition songs on the album, features a phone message allegedly from an irate, uninvited Italian house guest who came to Maynard's house one day and freeloaded until they managed to figure out that nobody actually knew him. The sound of AEnima is complex and layered, showcasing the band's technical proficiency and their ability to mix heavy and aggressive tones with intricate melodies. Many songs on AEnima are long and they build and evolve gradually. Justin laid down the melodic riffs with a thick and snappy articulated pick attack using a wall bass, which are known for their unique preamps, clarity, and tonal characteristics. He also used a variety of effects including delays, choruses, flangers, and distortion pedals to add texture and depth. Danny Carey has a unique, almost tribal-sounding drumming where he utilizes cymbal washes, gong strikes, and hi-hats, and seamlessly switches between ghost notes and powerful heavy hits to create a range of dynamics within a single song. Justin and Danny make it easy for listeners to allow their mind to relax while Adam sits back and plays many variations of a similar riff and then comes back in strong and loud when called for. At times, Adam and Justin are switching off lead and rhythm as part of a push and pull dynamic. On songs like 46 and 2 and H, at times Justin is playing the riff, providing the main rhythm, and Adam is articulating the chords and doing his own distinct but subtle riff. Adam, of course, uses his 1979 Gibson Les Paul Custom Silverburst with the Seymour Duncan distortion humbucker installed at the bridge. Adam's a master at utilizing his volume knob, rolling it back a bit to achieve a semi-clean tone, and of course his volume swells. Maynard's vocals were recorded with an emphasis on dynamic range as he transitions effortlessly between soft, almost whispered sections to intense guttural screams. His voice was manipulated with different effects, sometimes subtly, to enhance or distort his voice on some songs. On some song sections, his voice was purposely turned down in the mix. They also experimented with layering his vocals to create a sense of depth. The late great comedian Bill Hicks played a huge role in the development of AEnima. Hicks' philosophy, humor, and social critique resonated deeply with the band, shaping their artistic direction and thematic content. Hicks' stand-up routines often tackled themes of societal corruption, spiritual awakening, and the absurdities of modern life. Hicks had a very natural way of taking these subjects, which are often uncomfortable, and blending them with humor to make them palatable for the masses. Both Hicks and Tool advocate for questioning authority, breaking free from societal constraints, and seeking deeper meaning in life. The liner notes from AEnima included dedication, another dead hero, as he unfortunately passed away from cancer in 1994. Hicks' material about Los Angeles and its culture of superficiality inspired the song AEnima's themes. The line, "Learn to swim," echoes Hicks' famous bit about a cleansing flood washing away society's excess and hypocrisy. The closing track on AEnima, Third Eye, features audio clips from Hicks' routines, notably bits about the war on drugs and consciousness and the true nature of our holographic existence. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
And then there's the aspect, too, of the inside joke that we go, hee hee hee, you know, and you guys like it, but we know what it really means. And it's not serious, and it's just that friend thing.